Jöreget kívánok, hogy vagy, jó? Just like old times, huh? In the bathrobe, in the low light, waking up early, and look at me. I woke up at 4 a.m. today. Hmm. I was teasing Rosanna last night in our in what's become our nightly phone call, and I was teasing her about the fact that having a man in her life, things are going to change. And she started laughing and she said, like what? Like what's going to change? And I said, like, you're going to be getting up at 4 a.m. and you're going to be going to the fitness with me and you're going to be doing 45 minutes on the treadmill right alongside me, just as I'll be doing 45 minutes on the treadmill. And she started laughing and she said, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. And oh, goodness gracious. Exercise is probably one of the best things that a person could do for themselves. But very few people do, you know. I shouldn't say very few people do, but a lot of people don't take the time to exercise. And there's always a reason, there's always an excuse. I'm too busy, I don't have the time, I don't, what have you. But, how does the saying go? If you don't have your health, you don't have anything, and that's very, very true. So I let a lot of exercise go out the window when I was traveling. And having a job where I stay at home, and sit at a desk. I do have the morning commute, which is the equivalent for of my morning commute is like the morning commute or the distance most people walk to get in their car and do the real commute. My morning commute is just down the hallway. But anyway, no, it's nice to be back up. It's nice to be back to trying to get into a routine. I'm going to try to get into the routine of 4 in the morning and down to the gym at 5 a.m. And when I first moved here, I used to go to the gym all the time, every morning, just like clockwork. And it'll be interesting today to walk in there at 5 a.m., which I'll do here in about 20 minutes. It'll be interesting to go into the gym and see if there's some of the same people in there from 2 years ago. The same people. A lot of times you go into the gym this hour of the day and you'll find older men. For whatever reason, older men can't, have a problem sleeping through the night or whatever. There's a guy that I know. His name is Paul, and love this guy to death. He's from Boston. He's a snowbird, and he comes down. He's come down every winter since I've been here. He even rented my house once, but he'll tell you that he won't sleep. He'll wake up at ungodly hours, like 3 or 4 in the morning or something like that as well. But anyway, I'm a little bit challenged at things that maybe it's the new time getting up at 4 a.m. But I'm a little bit challenged at things to talk about. But I'll do my best. Yesterday's conversation, couple takeaways from yesterday's conversation. I learned the definition of a new word, and I've heard the word many a times, but the word is I think esoteric. Somebody out there mentioned that my esoteric talks, my esoteric morning talks, or something, and not soon after reading that, I said, Alexa, define esoteric.
Sorry, can you repeat the word?
Esoteric.
The adjective esoteric is usually defined as understood by or meant for only the select few who have special knowledge or interest. Recondite. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for esoteric.
There you go. But I learned the word esoteric yesterday, and and the definite the topic of weight loss. You know, I should have known that that would spawn a conversation about diet and what have you. And unless I'm stupid, unless I'm stupid, somebody had put in a comment that that I was mistaken. Calories in, calories out would result in weight loss. Unless I'm stupid, or missing something. That's always been my thought. I thought that it takes something like 3,000 calories more. Burning 3,000 calories more a day than you take in will result in like the loss of a pound or something like that. I don't know, but I'd be willing to bet. I'd be willing to bet that if I went on a 1,200 calorie a day diet, not that I will, but if I went on a 1,200 calorie a day diet, and every day I rode my bike for the better part of an hour, and I swam 30 minutes of laps, and for conversation's sake, I burned 2,400 calories a day, 1,200 more calories, burning 1,200 calories more a day than I'm consuming. I would think, that that would result in weight loss. I could be mistaken, but anyway, I'm sure somebody out there in the comments will. Sure, somebody out there in the comments will enlighten me. And over the course of your lifetime, how many different diets have there been? I mean, how many times do they come out with new research reveals, and this new diet is based upon the latest and greatest, research and what have you. How many diets come and go, over the years? I mean, in all seriousness, and that's not to take anything away from research. I mean, research. So oftentimes you can't take anything away from research. The interesting thing with research is oftentimes they'll talk about you know the I used to go back and forth with this guy, rest his soul, Phil, and Phil was a avid man about vitamins and supplements and all that type of stuff. And it's interesting how research has come out that if you eat a well balanced healthy diet, the supplements and vitamins aren't they don't have the benefits that the manufacturers would have you believe them to have. I could just be talking out my ass this morning. I could be talking out my ass this morning. But anyway, the what else is on my mind? You remember when I was traveling, I stayed with that wonderful gentleman. I want to say his name was Ken, is Ken. Uh, that wonderful gentleman in Lake Tahoe, or Mindenville, who had the terracotta soldier at his front door, and he took me up in the mountains, Lake Tahoe mountains or whatever, Sierra Nevadas, I think they're called. Took me up in the Sierra Nevadas in his Razor. Remember that guy? Well, when I was set up in his driveway for a few nights, I set up my Alexa with his Wi-Fi, and
I'm not sure.
in doing so, I installed the app on my phone or something like that, and long story short, I made Mindenville my home of record, so to speak, with her. So whenever I ask her what the weather is, I came home the other day and I asked what the weather is. I get the weather for Mindenville, not for here. And it's kind of interesting because of all the places that I traveled, over the summer, and with all things considered, that area, the eastern Sierra, just 30 minutes outside or 30 45 minutes outside of Lake Tahoe, is probably the area that I could see myself relocating to. You know, if I had the time and the money and everything involved to relocate, that area right there, for a lot of different reasons. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. Is the climate seems to be very very similar to the other side of the Sierra Nevadas, that being California. Uh, and the people seemed really really nice, and it had a small town feel to it, but in close proximity to the bigger town and what have you. But every now and then, just for fun, I'll ask her what the weather is, and she'll give me the weather report for Mindenville, and I'm going to leave it that way for a while, just because I just want to hear as we go from late summer into autumn into winter. I just want to hear the weather over there, and I could just as easily ask her. But anyway, Alexa, what's the weather?
In Gardnerville, it's 48 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies. Today, you can look for lots of sun, with a high of 79 degrees and a low of 38 degrees.
79 and 38 is the difference in the temperature, but it's Gardnerville, not Mindenville. I think there's a Mindenville, but anyway, what else were we going to say? I should ask her what the weather is in Fort Myers. Alexa, what's the weather in Fort Myers?
Currently, in Fort Myers, Florida, it's 76 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly cloudy skies. Today, you can expect lots of clouds and thunderstorms, with a high of 89 degrees and a low of 75 degrees.
See, 89 and 75. 89 and 75, lots of thunderstorms and humidity and all that kind of stuff. And you contrast that to a high of 79, not a cloud in the sky, and a low of 39. Good sleeping weather. But, talking about sleeping, what an interesting observation last night. Last night was I think it was the second night. It was the second night being back home. And whereas Rosanna had come to visit me the night before, whereas Rosanna had come and visited me the evening before, there was no Rosanna last night. And I gotta tell you, being alone, for whatever reason, when I was in my camper and I was driving here and driving there and sleeping here and sleeping there, being alone in the small confines of that camper doesn't have the same impact or sensation, not sensation, feeling or sense of isolation, sense of loneliness that being in a big house like this does. When you're in a big house like this, all 1,800 square feet, and you're alone, it really, really, what's the word? I guess magnifies, or whatever. You know what I'm trying to communicate. It really enhances the sense of loneliness. When you're in a big house like this and you're all by yourself, it's really it's really something, as opposed to being in that small little camper camping along the Snake River. But so maybe there is something to be said about size. That size that size does matter. Maybe smaller is better sometimes. Maybe smaller is better some of the time. But anyway, Rosanna, bless her soul. I gotta say, sometimes I'll flip through and I'll watch the videos of her and I, having fun with each other, and we look good together. You know, we like I told her last night, we we play off each other. We play off each other quite well. We play we really do. We complement each other quite well on the videos, and she's a good sport. That's important. She's a very, very good sport. I was she wants to do this YouTube channel, which is like cooking and thoughts, cooking and thoughts. And I was trying to nail her down the other morning and saying, okay, because I want to help her. I want to help her do the YouTube thing as much as I'm able to. And so the other day I said, okay, let's talk about your YouTube channel. Is it going to be cooking and thoughts, in that your thoughts are going to be limited to your cooking videos? Or are you going to have cooking videos and thought videos? Are you going to have both? Are you going to have your thoughts? Are you going to do morning thoughts, or maybe evening thoughts, or maybe random thoughts? Or what? What's it all going to be? And she's like, "Oh, well, good question." And she does such a great job with her cooking videos. There's you just with a little more effort with the cameras and the mics and everything like that. She could continue to do, I should say, some really nice cooking videos. But I was teasing her, not as much teasing her, but I told her, I said, I've got a great idea for you for a video, or for a series of videos. She said, what's that? I said, you should do a video on, dating a guy, dating a new guy, and dealing with his wardrobe. Like, she wants to take me shopping. She wants to take me shopping. She said, okay, you and I are going shopping. We're going shopping. We're going to get you some things to wear. And I was telling her, I said, you should do a video on that. You should do a video on dating a guy who doesn't know how to dress himself so well, and what have you. And I said, we could start with a wardrobe inventory. So yesterday I went through my stuff. I was unpacking and taking stuff out of boxes that I put in boxes and what have you, in anticipation of her wanting to take me shopping. And I laid out all my clothes, and I got a crap load of clothes. I got all types of shirts, casual and dress. I've got, I don't know, 15 pairs of shoes. I mean, how many variations of shoes could you possibly need? I have 15 variations of shoes. I've got 4 sport jackets. I've got a $2,000, navy blue suit. I've got I've got all types of crap. So I told her, I said, we should do a video about getting your boyfriend ship shape with his wardrobe, and it should start by taking inventory. I mean, how do you go about creating a wardrobe? And I was telling her, I said, I would think first you would have to look at one's lifestyle. For example, if one is a business person and they go out to the office every day, then they need attire for business. They need more dress attire or business attire. If somebody is a stay-at-home web developer, all they really need is a bathrobe. I mean, you might mix it up and get like a bathrobe, monogram for each day of the week. This is Monday's bathrobe. This is Tuesday's bathrobe, that type of thing. You might mix up the bathrobe, assortment. But anyway, so I was just telling her, how do you decide, what you need? You walk into some women's closets, and they've just got endless stuff. I mean, they just got endless stuff. It's just, it's incredible, you know, everything that, you know, some women might have 40, 50 pairs of shoes. You know, they might have enough outfits that they could wear a different outfit every day for, you know, 6 years or something like that. And, and you always wonder, you know, where do you, you know, if you're going to have a, if you're going to have a suitable wardrobe, you know, what does that consist of? You know, 4 pair of shoes, 5 dress shirts, you know. You know what my problem is I overthink things. That's my problem. I tend to overthink things. And a lot of you watching my videos, you know that. But anyway, all right, it's time to get on with the day, and we'll do the question of the day. Alexa, what's the question of the day?
Welcome back. Here is today's question of the day. The topic is history. It is worth 8 points. Canada's name comes from the Iroquois word, Canada. What does Canada mean in English? Choose from the following: A. Lakes, B. Village, C. Moose, or D. Hockey.
What is lakes?
Great guess. The correct answer was B. Village. In the mid-1500s, French explorer Jacques Cartier heard people from the native Iroquois community use the word Canada, and he started using it on printed maps of the area. The name Canada is now generally accepted as originating from the Iroquoian word that means village or settlement. Only 15% of our users got this one right. You have earned a total of 134
Only
points.
15% of the people. Did you know that? Canada is another word for villages, but or village or something. Anyway, with all that being said, everybody out there have a wonderful day. Okay, take good care.